Hey there, happy Tuesday. I hope your day's off to a great start and I hope you had a wonderful extended weekend and are now refreshed for the week. Today we are going to talk a little bit about buyer etiquette when you are touring a home. I know it's a super exciting time for you to go into somebody's house. It's real life house hunters, but you can't let the excitement get the best of you. So here are a couple tips for some etiquette when you are touring homes. First of all, you want to be on time and keep your scheduled appointment. That will help your real estate agent keep you on track because when we make appointments to see homes, we have to schedule, and it's kind of difficult to schedule if you're seeing like 5 or 6 of them. We have to do it in such a way that we show up on time. And we do typically use windows, but when you show up 15, 20 minutes late, it then throws off the entire window. And then that in turn throws off the seller because the seller has to get out of their home in order for you to come and view it. So make sure that you keep all of your appointments and that you show up on time. Remember, not only does the seller leave, but put yourself in their shoes. They're in their house cleaning it and making sure everything is in tip-top shape for you to come in. And it kind of stinks when somebody just doesn't show up. And that being said, if you get to a property and you don't like the outside, still go in because remember that seller did leave. They did get ready, the home ready for you to view. Even if you decide it's not for you out at the curb, run inside, take a quick look, give the seller some feedback that they can use for other showings. So that's a tip there. Be on time, keep your appointments. Here's another one. Don't call the listing agent if you have a buyer agent. If you already have an agent, why would you call the listing agent? I know it's tempting to call and ask some questions, or I often hear this, ring, ring, hey, this is Shannon, how can I help you? And we get into the discussion and they say, well, I already have an agent. I don't want to bother them. Guys, your agents want to be bothered. That is their job. It's what they're getting paid for. And they would rather you go through them so you don't give up any negotiation tactics, right? You don't want to give up any negotiation power. So make sure that if you have a question about a property and you have an agent, call your agent and not the listing agent. When you are inside a property, make sure you remove your shoes, or use the covers that are provided for you. Now, if there's nothing being said about it, then you can assume that it's okay to wear your shoes. But if the seller has indicated that they would like your shoes off or that they've provided covers, it's just nice for you to oblige. Don't bring an entourage with you when you are looking at homes. I know it's really tempting to bring mom, dad, grandma, brother, boyfriend's parents. It gets to be a little too consuming, and you know what they say about opinions, right? Everybody has one. It's best if just the key players are involved. It's perfectly fine if you come and if you want to bring mom or dad, but beyond that, it gets to be a little crazy. Now, should you bring your kids? I get it. I'm a mom to twins, and I had to bring my children when I was looking for a home because we literally had no one when we were moving to watch them. If you are bringing your children, which if you can find a sitter, it's a much easier experience for you to pay attention to the home. But if you have to bring them, make sure the children are with you, that they're not playing with other toys, that they're not jumping on beds or getting into things. So just keep that in mind. Don't bring an entourage. Avoid multiple visits. Now, if you look at a home for the first time and you're really interested and you want to see it a second time, great. Go ahead if you're really interested. And if you need that final third time to make the decision, okay, that's good too. But once you get into 4, 5, 6, if you're not really that interested or that motivated, again, the sellers are getting out, so try to keep the multiple visits to a minimum 1, 2, 3 times. Don't open dressers or nightstands or medicine cabinets. That has some personal stuff in it of the sellers, and it's just best if you don't get in that. What you can open are like the kitchen cabinets and the refrigerator and the appliances. Like, you want to be able to check that stuff out. But there's no need to be getting into people's personal property in terms of dressers or nightstands and that sort of thing. Now, if you have to use the restroom, try to do it only in an emergency situation. And if you do have to use it, make sure you ask us, your agent, if it's okay. Because we want to make sure that the plumbing is working, that the water is still turned on, and I want to make sure after somebody flushes that the water stops running, because we don't want to have a flood. We are responsible for that property while you are in it. So if you have to use the restroom, and I've done it myself, you've got to go, you got to go. But make sure that you ask your agent if it's okay, because if it is a vacant property, or some homes the water is turned off for whatever reason, we want to make sure that everything is working. Just a few more here for you. Don't negotiate inside the home. Again, that's going to keep your negotiation power. So handle those conversations outside of the home. We can go to Starbucks, we can talk outside in the backyard, but let's try not to discuss negotiation tactics inside the house. You never know if someone's recording. So just best to do that. Two more, guys. Don't bring food inside somebody's property. We don't want to attract ants and all that kind of stuff. And finally, no pets. I also understand if you have to bring your dog with you on showings, but they cannot come into the home. I have been known to stand outside while you go look at a property, and I'll hold your dog outside, or if we can, put it in the fenced-in backyard. But if that happens, then you do need to clean up after your pet if they go in the yard. So it's just best if you can make arrangements at a doggy daycare or something for your pets, but they absolutely under no circumstances should go inside a home unless it's like a service dog. And if that's the case, a service animal, you need to speak with us ahead of time so that we make sure that the agents on the seller side is aware of why we need to bring a pet into the home. Guys, that is just a little bit of buyer etiquette. It is really upsetting on the listing side when you have an appointment and you just don't go in the house because you get there and say, well, I don't like the lot. The seller went to a lot of trouble to allow you to come into their home because it is still their home. And so we need to go in, we need to take a look, we need to not be eating, we need to take off our shoes, everything that I just mentioned. If you have any questions about this, feel free to put it in the comments, or if you're shy, send me a private message and I'll be happy to answer it. I am Shannon Milligan at RVA Home Team, brokered by eXp Realty. I will be back on Thursday where we're going to talk about something for sellers called functional obsolescence. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you Thursday.